Go
Hello
ahead.
there, everyone. Welcome. Another week of ELU is in the history books. I am the man with the mouse, your wonderful host, Mr. Glorsnax.
I'm gonna actually come up with an intro for you, Nitro.
Okay, that's perfectly
Yeah.
fine. I just realized we gotta change the name of the stream. Oh, that was an echo. Sorry about that. Do you know how to do it, Mikey?
Yeah. Hold on. I
Thank you.
think it's exclamation point. Hold on. Give me a sec. Keep going while I figure it out.
Okay, well then, welcome. I hope you're all having a very safe Wednesday. It's podcast. Thank you, Mom. It's also my birthday today, so I was celebrating that. So I'm very
Huge.
sorry for
Happy
the.
birthday. What's the title?
What are you, like 14?
Can we just do podcast week 5? Is it week 5?
I don't.
Yeah,
Your
technically
time isn't real.
this is the start of week 5. So
Oh, start of week
So
5.
like
So
week
that
four
works.
recap?
Sure.
Something like
Or
that? I
you
don't
could do
know.
week 4 week.
that doesn't matter.
Either way. Either
Wednesdays are
way.
the days where the officially the league week ends, and then the next week begins because we have games on Thursdays.
Are you gonna do my intro or what?
I was getting to, but you were
No,
asking
no.
questions.
I made an intro that you need to say for me. Hold on. I'm gonna type it to you. Keep talking.
Okay, I am joined ever lovely by SpiritTracks. How are
Yep.
you today?
Um, okay. My week was a disaster, so things finally cooled down. So kind of, I don't know. I'm tired. It's been rough.
All right, so I am ever joined by, you can see right there at the top, the new king of ELU, self-proclaimed title given to him by moi, Mr. Toastyboi02.
Howdy, howdy.
How are you today, good sir?
Pretty good. I'm pretty excited for the podcast.
I'm glad to hear that.
It says
And
Nunu King and Toasty.
Yeah, of course.
yeah, featuring new king Toastyboi02.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Are you?
Oh,
You're not. You're
I,
not gonna do my intro? That's fine.
and here we have Mikeypooh. He is the trash talker. Drops more bombs than Hurt Locker.
Yep.
He is the
Yep.
nerdiest, the
Yep.
flirtiest, and overall the most luxurious
That's me.
Mikeypooh.
And
Wait, did you write that and send it
yeah,
to him?
I
Oh
wrote that and
my
sent that to
God.
him and said you have to introduce me.
I mean, that's good. All right.
He's in pain. He's in physical pain.
It's okay. It's okay. My cat is just demanding more attention from me. But
That's it.
introductions should be good to go now. We have been live for a couple minutes, so Mr. Toasty Boy, there is a question we asked you before we got on the stream that we wanted you to help clarify, and it was against your series against what was it?
New York.
New York.
New York
Yeah.
Mutants.
Yeah, where you did the role swap.
Okay, so yes. So for those who don't know, my top laner, Mr. The Volley Cap, and our mid laner, Forever 99 or 99 Forever, decided to do a role swap. Basically, the idea behind that was they were going to try to pick for sure Vayne and for sure Akali, whichever roles they want to swap or keep in, they could do it. They weren't entirely sure if they could. There was a little bit of miscommunication between us and the observers, so we weren't entirely sure if we even could. And then we got, I think, some thumbs up that we could, so we went ahead and did that. I personally wasn't a fan of it, but I was like, you know what? Let them have their fun. Is what it is. And then, well, things happen.
So it was basically just matchup dependent. I think what it was TK top
Okay.
versus where's the TK top versus Zed mid, and so you just thought that they thought that the Vayne is better into TK and the Kali's better into Zed, just like matchup. Is that what's going on?
Well, that and also, because recently, 99 Forever hasn't been playing that much mid lane, in all honesty, and he's played bot lane too and top lane, so it was more of a just I wanted to play top lane, let me go top. And I was like, all right, go ahead. And then things kind of fell apart.
All right. I
Wait,
mean,
did you guys 3-0? How did it fall
no,
apart?
it was a 2-1. That game lasted like 21 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Wait, I
disaster.
thought they were all 3-0s this week.
Oh, we're going back to because
Oh,
we were
gotcha.
we were.
Gotcha.
I mean, at least I was
Yeah.
hard flaming them
Okay.
pretty hard in the last week's podcast. So it was just like giving them a chance to
Defend
I guess
themselves.
defend themselves, like give them some reasoning. Because
Yeah.
I mean, that does make sense a bit. Again, like I still don't like it, but like I mean, it's better to hear like the reasoning behind it than just like blindly flame and just be like, well, they're just stupid. Like, so like it's yeah, it makes sense to me. Like oh, these are the reasons. It's good to hear.
With that particular swap, I wasn't a fan of.
Mm-hmm.
But if you guys remember when 99 Forever went top as Mordekaiser, he ended up getting a pentakill.
Oh yeah, game one.
Yeah, when he went, oh yeah, the first series, and then he
Mm-hmm.
went bot lane with Samira, got like a quadra kill probably because Samira.
20.4, yeah.
Yeah, so we are confident enough with Forever to roll swap with him. It's just that particular roll swap that I personally wasn't a fan of.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Let's have some fun. And plus, you gotta admit that series pretty good. Am I right? Like, you didn't know
Yeah.
who's gonna win. You're on your seats, quivering, not sure what the hell's gonna happen. So, we're here to entertain you guys.
Fair
Hey,
enough.
That's all. That's all I care about. Entertainment. Me not being on a team. I'm the only one in this chat not on a team. All I care about is entertainment. Keep entertaining me, gladiators. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Of course.
Mikey's pretending to be the fat Roman emperor sitting at the top.
I'm
And
a
then
fat
he,
Caesar. I'm a fat Caesar, just like thumbs down. That's
All right.
Right, so we're going to go ahead and get into recaps of the Game 4 games. I always say quick, but it's never quick with us. The American Dream versus New York Mutants. Well, all the series were 3-0s this week, so I don't think we will have a lot to talk about. New York Mutants go ahead and 3-0 Tad. Tad is on a massive spiral down. They have won 2 games, but they have lost all their other series, and the only 2 games they've won were game 3s, where it either gets dragged out completely for like 40 minutes, or it's like they really try and like do a proper team comp with Sunny top. But I don't think they are in a safe spot anymore. I think.
No. PAD is not in a safe spot for playoffs. They're on the cusp of not making playoffs, I would say.
I do think that game 1 was good.
Yeah.
I will say game 1 was good. I won't flame them too hard. They did make it competitive. I felt like they really tried their best there. I don't see the rest of the post games for it.
Dream to me posted
Yeah.
them later.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So-
that was the series I had to screenshot in the Twitch stream to send to ISO. My bad.
Yeah. One thing I will say, game 1, like I like the team comp. Like it's not terrible. Like you have the Gnar sideline to Tom Kench. That's a decent matchup. Like and then you have all these like team fight. You have the Rel, the Misfortune, the Orion, the Hecarim. Like we've already seen the I think it was TPP in week 1. The Rel Misfortune, like huge combo. Then you have the dive with the Hecarim and the Gnar and then the Orion. So you have this good team fight comp. Just didn't really come together. But like the next game was like Sunny's on the Kiana. Like I think he's just like, all right, pick me an assassin. I'm gonna go crazy. And then Solomon's Olaf is just like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. That was
cool pick, bro.
Kiana into Olaf? No.
Yeah. The rest of the picks are okay. You have the Misfortune Galio, which is not great. Like Galio's more of a peeling champ, while Misfortune's kind of like um, follows up on dive.
Galio's a great second engage,
Yeah.
but
So
who
yeah,
is engaging on your
I
team? It
think
has to be Shen Flash,
it's
or it
Shen
has to
Flash
be a
Taunt.
perfect Kiana ult.
Yeah, exactly. And like so like that team seems a little scuffed. And then game three, I think, was their for fun game, and so it's like
Yeah.
whatever.
They have like complete role swaps. Dream Team Me was jungle. Sunny D was on his top. Captain Miner and their bot laner swapped roles. In the beginning, actually, they were doing pretty well, but then New York Mutants finally, they're like, okay, you know what? No, we're gonna 3-0 stomp them, and they did. So,
Mhm.
Can I ask just a quick question? Are we pretty much set on New York Mutants making playoffs? Like just a general consensus. Would you guys say so?
yeah.
New York has beaten War, TKK, and the American Dream. So two of the lower teams.
Um, I would say
Technically three, because all those teams do have negative records. I do not know. It'd be interesting next week for GCC in New York. I feel like
yeah.
that's a big tell
Yeah.
to me.
That's actually the biggest tell for the line of the playoffs, I would say.
What I was so I would like they've 3-0'd War. War's had some rough series. But they seem decent on like a good day. Like I think they're a pretty solid team. TKK, I think they're again pretty solid team. And then I do think New York should have beat GCA in that last game. So I would put, but they didn't. So I mean I would put them as a solid 4 right now, which has them in playoffs by like two two spots. So like right now, I think they're in a good spot to make it. They do have to play LLW and TPP, and if we are going off, I'd say how things have gone so far, those are probably going to be losses. Maybe they upset, but then that just leaves what I think TKK, Rev, and GCC.
No, they played TED.
Oh, all right. So then it's just Rev and GCC, and then their bye, and then those two. And I think they can beat Rev, and I think they have a good shot at beating GCC. So I would keep them in
That's your
playoffs. Yeah,
team,
yeah.
man. Come on. What the heck?
I mean, straight up, like they're looking pretty good. I do like. I think it's gonna be a close series if both teams show up, but I think so far, like we've seen more from New York than we have from GCC. So far.
I will agree to that. Yeah. And
Yeah.
if any
So-
member has a problem with that, GCC, remember your ADC said it.
Yeah, I mean,
So we're loosely locking in New York Mutants as a playoff team.
I
Loosely.
think,
loosely.
yeah, I think there's an 80% chance they make it. I say like 80 to 90 they make it. Top 4 is a 50-50 to me. Top 2 is 10%. Like the 90-50-10
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
do in sports. 90%
Yeah.
they make the playoffs, 50% they're top 4, 10% they're top 2.
Ooh, you're even giving them 10% to be top 2.
I do.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
they
I'll
could
give 'em
be
that.
they could be TPP. They could.
They
Mhm.
could. I don't know if they will, but they could.
Well, remember what we talked about last week? New York Mutants on their best day could go off, and on their worst day they could lose to Rev. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
they're
exactly
one of those-
why it's a 10% for them to make
Yeah.
top
Yeah.
2. But I do think with how many wins they've already confirmed, I do think they're already in playoffs. They just have to get, I believe, 5 more wins total in games, and they're in playoffs because they'll end 14-10. And I
Mhm.
think that's pretty good in this league for playoffs.
Yes.
Scaling, they could beat LLW too.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's true. Scaling brings
I
up a
could-
point.
I could beat LLW by myself, so
Yeah,
that's not
okay, Roman
impressive.
Caesar. Let's move on from that.
I'm the fat Roman Caesar.
Yeah. New York Mutants, kinda true. True, very true. Roman Caesar, unfair. 9,000 members versus the 5 of LLW. Okay,
Yeah.
just getting Brutus.
Bru-
1v9 challenger games regularly. Very true.
What am I? It's very true. It's very true. Am I wrong by thinking we should go over impact players as we go over the games, or should we
No,
keep doing
no.
it the way we've been doing
Yeah,
it?
I think that works.
We could do
I mean, I
that,
don't
because we
think.
said we were going to do
yeah.
that like that last week, so.
Yeah, 'cause
I-
it seems like we'd save time going over impact players as soon as we're done talking about the game.
Okay,
Yeah,
so then
sure.
impact players of this series for New York Mutants.
We
Solomon Khan.
Solomon
For
Khan.
yeah, we
Yeah.
say Solomon Khan for MVP. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was about to say, like, does anybody have, like, any other argument? But,
I
Um,
I
yeah,
don't see.
I
much.
don't see an argument. I mean, I'd say the argument here is for under the radar.
true,
Yeah,
you do have a
I
lot.
think.
I have
Yeah.
Toad, Hector, and Nubity. Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I mean,
You don't have
what?
Mini Soko there?
No, even Mini Soko. That's the thing. This under the radar could be all the other 4 players. I don't know.
think it's, for me... Ooh, personally for me, I think it could be Hector.
Yeah, I'd say.
Because
I
Hector
know
had
it
a
was-
good game 1, he had a decent game 2, and he had a banger game 3.
Yeah,
Yeah, I gotta look at some of the other stats. I'm trying not to do it based on KDA because
yeah.
I know,
KDA
but
doesn't
I'm
mean
also
anything.
saying he took Yasuo in his ADC in this league and made it work.
True.
One thing I will, I know it was the for fun game, the patent pending for fun game that Tad, or what but like the Teemo, the Teemo like hard stomped Sunny on the KO. But so I mean, Mini Soko on top of the TK game in game 2, the game 1 was whatever. Like,
What do you think, Toasty? Actually,
yeah.
What do you think? Who do you think deserves it? Because you did watch
I-
the series.
Yes, I did. Okay, Mini Soko, he did very well. He was able to react to his jungler very well. He was a big part of the team comp. He's a Tom Kench. He makes sure. You know what? I'm leaning more towards Mini Soko. Yeah,
Okay, so that's
But-
2 votes for Mini Soko.
but
I
Like,
could give
he-
him a vote too.
yeah, but as Mikey said, I think definitely any of the team members can for sure get it.
Well,
But yeah,
help me out here because we give random awards too.
Okay.
Give out a random award to.
We
another
could
person.
get. What about the Ginyu Force? We just give it to all.
Can you? Wait, how do you spell
I
that?
love it.
What's-
Ginyu
what's-
Force? You
Yeah,
want me to
spell it
type
for
it
me.
out for you?
Yes.
Okay. The Ginyu Force Award
Where are you typing it out on?
podcast.
Okay.
The Ginyu Force Award for New York Mutants. They were all basically really good. So I think Mini Soko gets like main credit, but I do think
So
that
we'll give Mini Soko under the radar then.
yeah, we'll give him under the radar, but then Ginyu Award.
All right, I gotcha. So
And then
Ginyu
loser
award first.
MVP. Think it's Dream.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, to me, Dream has just been the best performing player on that team all season. Like,
He has. I
um,
think even though he did go jungle game 3 and it wasn't, his role, he was still a threat enough.
Mhm.
And it could also be, I don't want to give it to Captain Minor.
he had a good game too,
As
but
well.
that's about
Hey,
it.
God Amox, thank you for joining the stream. How you sign up for this Discord is actually by signing up on the link below, because that's how our admin team wants to do it. Where you can possibly join the league. So thank you for first time viewing. I personally think Dream to me is the top consistent performer on his team, which used to not be the case last season. So I really want to give him props for calming his nerves in a way and
Mhm.
becoming that player that is able to be at least very consistent among those games, even if he is having fun for funny in the other games and all that. I do think
It's
that he is like a reason why they would win a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's between Shreeze and Dream to me because looking at how they played in all 3 games, it looks pretty similar. I'm gonna go ahead and say Dream to me. I'm gonna agree that Dream to me probably did the best.
Do you
What
have
do you guys
anything
think?
else to say to that, Spirit?
No, I mean straight up, like, I mean it's kind of hard for me to. I still don't think Tad's doing what they should be doing to win. I mean, I still think Sunny should be going top. I know he's gone top in some of these for fun games, but like, um, you know, or like even last week with the Camille and the Urgot, like, I don't know, something's just snapped from last season, and I don't know, it doesn't seem like, yeah. So I mean, it just seems like the team's Sunny, especially, is in kind of disarray. I know I keep picking on him, but like, again, one of the higher rated people in the league, one of the more mechanically, let's say, gifted players. He plays like I think it's like the Camille. I think he plays Riven some. He should be doing better. And I think Dream is picking up the slack as best he can. And that, I mean, for now, the rest of the team's doing all right, but I think Dream is just standing up above the rest.
All right. Any final thoughts on this series?
Not for me.
I want to note something interesting. Still, according to the standings, playoffs is attainable for any team still.
Yes.
Because 6th place right now is 4 and 5, or 4 and 8, because technically War has the 2 series wins.
And let's not forget, Rev could still make the playoffs.
Rev could still make playoffs.
They face the 4 hardest teams in the league, right?
True.
Let's say they
and
go
now
2-1.
they face the 4 technically weakest teams on the standings.
Let's say they go 2-1 the rest of the series, which I don't think they will, but let's just say they do.
So they go. So they end 8 and 16.
Yeah, they could make playoffs with 8 and 16. Honestly, they could technically. It depends on how the other teams do, but
True. I do think that would be interesting. I think that would be really interesting to see.
So Rev players, don't give up. Like, playoffs are still attainable.
Playoffs are still attainable, and that would be a hell of a comeback.
Yeah.
All right.
It really would.
So we're gonna move on to GCC versus TKK, the sub games.
Again, I'm gonna keep saying this. I want to make this very clear. This game is not a representation of what GCC can do.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's much you can even say about this game, these series.
I mean, I will say
it was President Mundo, Lamowski, and Eris on the team.
Yeah.
And then they had 2 subs, Gapic and Creativity. And kudos to the subs for going out there and trying their best. I do applaud them for that. It was just kind of ugly League of Legends.
Yeah. One thing I will say, like, I don't want to take anything away from TKK. Like, they played very well. I think we mentioned this earlier. Like, Fidsick on the jungle went crazy.
Oh, Fidsick had a series.
Yeah, for Salto did very well as too. So like,
for me,
we can't
Fidsick
take
is
anything.
the MVP.
Yeah, we can't take anything away from them.
We both said that. Yeah, we both said that when you were gone.
Yeah, Fidsick really dominated the series. And
yeah, I'll just put that down.
It would have been a lot better for Young Trendsetter to be versus Fidsick. Then the matchup would have been a lot more interesting. But Young Trendsetter wasn't there, of course. GCC only had 2 starting members on their roster, which really sucked. And I know it really sucked, but Fidsick was 100% the MVP of that series. He was dominating. For Salto, for me, is also maybe the under the radar MVP.
I
not
for
game
Salto
1.
And Hopeless. Honestly.
Not for game 1, but game 2 and game 3 were good.
I'm gonna also throw out Germsan. I think like you, especially game 1, like Ash, I think is pretty shit. Like you have some lane control, but it's weaker now that the W got nerfed, and so and your damage is super over time. Like you either have to get to late game and get full build, or you just have to hit someone like a bunch. So the fact, so basically your utility, you play for the slows, you play for the arrows, and then I like what they did with the Corki because that kind of substitutes the lower damage ADC. But I think Germstan, especially on that game one, played very well around the utility, the Ash kit, and then the rest of the games did pretty well too. Game three was kind of but like game two pretty well. But game one especially, I think making Ash work is pretty hard.
So here's what I have my awards at, and we're gonna change this around, obviously, or if you guys want to.
Mm-hmm.
I have Fidsick as the MVP. Under the radar, I actually have a tie between Forsalto and Hopeless. And then I gave Germsand the Amazing Positioning Award because from what I saw in the series, he positioned really well.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
It's giving him an award without,
Yeah.
But MVP of the losers, I think you guys can chime in on this. I think it's clearly Eris. I think all 3 games he did pretty well.
Yeah.
Considering he had 6 mid bans.
Yeah, he had 6 mid bans, and 2 of the games he carried his team. Now, granted, they lost, but like he carried them to a loss. I don't know. I'd say Eris did very well. But if you guys, do you guys have a disagreement about MVP of the losers, or is that?
No, I think Eris. I think Eris is a good pick. I mean, Lemowski's off-rolling a bit. You have the 2 subs, and then President Mundo, no offense, but got gapped a little bit by Peels. So, I mean, if you look across the board, I think Ares was by far the best performer.
Wait a minute, who's HR Creativity? Why did I?
They're a sub.
Oh, yeah.
One of the subs. Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think Ares deserves under the radar. And then I have not under the radar, losers. Under the radar, I do think
That's for Salto.
for Salto is up there.
Do you want me to take off Hopeless? I tied for Salto and Hopeless, but I could take off Hopeless.
I mean, if we want to time, it's fine. But for me, Hopeless was decent, but I think he didn't. I think for Salto was like a bit higher up.
All right, no, that's fine. I'll keep it how it is. There we go. So it's I have Fidsick MVP, Under the Radar for Salto, MVP of the losers Eris, and then Amazing Positioning was Germsand.
Yeah.
Sound about right?
So who is the Under the Radar MVP? Hopeless?
For Salto.
For Salto. Okay.
I wanted to give Hopeless something because he did very well, but I guess we'll just wait till next week.
I mean, if you want, you can give it to Hopeless. I feel like Hopeless as well.
We could do a tie, I suppose.
I mean, we could, yeah. I feel like that would be fair because Hopeless, when they initially played in the series, I thought would be a much worse support, and I'm going to be honest. Because, honesty is the best medicine, in my opinion. I do feel as if Hopeless was, like, kinda a bit bitten off more than they can chew. But they proved to me that they can play very well in situations where they're able to get resources and put ahead. I think Hopeless, if they are given a winning matchup, there's like a 70% chance they'll take that and run away with the game with it, because TKK have won games before. They're not, they don't just roll over and die, which is really good. I can commend them for that, because they kind of just, they always fight back like a possum. They're going to keep fighting even though they know it's severely outnumbered. And, I feel I have to commend that as well. I really do appreciate them playing like that, because they are the only team 50% win rate right now that is 6-6. But it's like some of the games are like, okay, yeah, you won this game, you shit stomped them, and now you go back and then it's not the same. but to give them credit, from 1-5 to 5-1 in the last 2 weeks is pretty good. So I do think they deserve some credit.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, for sure. They've won 3 series in a row, technically.
2.
So 2? Are you sure?
Yeah, we're on week 4, Mike.
Oh, okay. My bad.
They beat Tad.
Oh, that's right.
And they beat
Cause,
GCC.
and they took a game off New York Mutants.
They took a
That's
game
right.
off New York. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah,
It's
you're
okay.
right.
Don't worry.
But yeah, they look. TKK looks prime. They look good. I really want to see them because I think they play. Hold on. Well, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that coming up. We're going to go ahead and move on though really quick. We are going to go on to War versus TPP. I don't think there was much to this series. It was a stomp.
Yeah, this was the first, I think game 2, first surrender of ELU. Shout out, give them an award for that, I guess. I mean, like, what can you say? Like,
Talk about me a lot. I subbed this series. Okay, Soundwave, I will mention you. Soundwave, of course, subbing in. Game 1. It looks like everyone else on the map lost, and Cars was able to just. It looked like he played for KDA. I didn't know. I didn't watch the games, of course. Everyone else did, so they can tell about Game 1.
How long was this game?
Game 1 was 23. Or
23. So
21-27.
It looks to me like mid jungle got demolished, and then everyone else was just like, well, everyone else is fed. We'll try to do some stuff, but
interesting. Dark Harvest Diana, and then Dark Harvest Poppy.
You
the
see
Poppy makes sense, but I mean, like Poppy, you see it sometimes. I don't know about Diana. I've never seen Dark Harvest Diana. Maybe it's brand new, but
so one of the, I mean, the way I'd see it is like if you go Dark Harvest on Diana, it's like you're just going for the one shot. You have, which I don't like in this case. You have these 3 tanky members: Urgot, Poppy, Silas, and then you have a Xayah who, I think, hard counters Diana. Like Diana ults, Xayah ults, you counter that damage, and then she's on top of you. You can blade call her. I mean, of course, Diana's an assassin, so if she's fed, but like, doesn't really matter. But like in this case, wait, no, Kars played Samira. What am I talking about?
Yeah, Kars
I'm
played
looking
Samira.
at the wait.
Okay,
I'm just all right. Someone else talk. I just completely blew up my brain.
Okay. Toasty, what did you think about it? Because I know you didn't get to talk much last series.
Well, unfortunately, I didn't get to really watch this game since it wasn't streamed on the main channel, and I wasn't sure who was streaming it. So, yeah. But from this, I'm just gonna comment on the whole Diana thing. Yeah, Dark Harvest doesn't sound that great. If anything, go Conqueror or maybe Electrocute, but I wouldn't go.
Hold on a second. Let me do this for you, Toasty. Let me do this for you. So that way you can at least be caught up because you didn't watch the games. I apologize.
Oh, what a G. Alright.
There you go. That's all the end game select screen. So that way you can have the same information that we have as well. My bad. I forgot to do that.
That's all good.
Yeah, so game 1 looked like it was the closest gold-wise.
Man, that's kind of.
I mean, TPP was only up 2,593 at 15. Now, if you count the rest of the series,
7.5 and then 9.5 in the rest of the game.
Compared to Game 2, where they were up 8,000k at 15 minutes, and they surrendered at 17.5 minutes, and then Sushi had to go, so he was subbed out. And then Parody came back, and Soundwave went mid. By the way, thank you, Soundwave, for playing this series. You're a real one. And then Kapesk went off this game, but Karas played the Samira again, and it did not end so well.
Yeah, one thing I'll say about Samira is I think she is terrible if there is any reliable CC on the other team. Mm-hmm. And you have, on the other team, you have Alistair, you have Volibear, and Urgot is like, I give that like a 50-50 shot of hitting the E if like you don't use it. But yeah, you have 2 point click disrupts. Alistair actually has 2. One's not really a point click, but like, you just get on top of her and Q. So like Samira is just like, it's super hard to play if the enemy team has a brain and fingers that can click CC abilities. So I think if you want to play it, you play it into things with low CC, like maybe like I don't know, like a Kha'Zix in the jungle, and the mid laner is something like a Syndra, which has the pushback, but like you can play around that, like and then bot support you have, I don't know, like an enchanter or something. But like if you play it into these things, it's your ult always gets interrupted. Like it 100% always gets interrupted if the enemy team knows what they're doing. So I mean, yeah. In regards to this, they picked it twice this series. I don't really like it either time. It's probably not the reason they lost, but like, yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot for me to say about this series other than criticizing some picks. I will say that TPP played very well. Like you have to really play the game well to build up 9,000 gold leads at 15 minutes. So
Yeah,
good on them.
I don't want this to also take away the fact that TPP just basically took them out back and old yellered them.
Wait, is that when they threw it down the well, or did they just shoot it?
That's when they. If you haven't seen Old Yeller, please come on. Old Yeller is.
My bad.
I will say, the game where Capes played Nunu, only having 2 KP on Nunu is kind of concerning.
I don't feel like Capes could have done much that game. Also, Thigh Hype Croc brings up an interesting point. You are going to contest TPP. You don't contest them in the bot lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when I look at like the spot lane, like I mentioned this a bit to Mikey, it's like you're playing Xayah. Xayah doesn't really have that much agency in lane on her own. You basically are fed kills until you get strong enough where you can just run at people. You do have like the pullback where you can set some plays up, but it's pretty hard to hit. And so really you're playing around scaling in this lane.
I would say ISO is one of the best Xayahs in this league.
Absolutely. I wouldn't disagree with that. Just champion wise, I think you're more reliant on support than a lot of other picks. Just because early game, you need like 2 or 3 items. You need Essence Reaver, and then Mythic is always good. And then once you get like Infinity Edge or LDR, then you can really start going. But like if you have the support, like Alistar's very good because you get him knocked up for like a second, and you can chain your Q auto into pullback, get the root, Thresh, same deal, you hit a hook. So a lot of these this bot lane play really seem to revolve around scaling, from what I'm assuming. And so I mean you take things like Pyke into Thresh, Rakan into Rel. Rakan into Rel's okay. Morgana into Alistar. Again, it's okay, but you're pairing Morgana with Samira. So it just seemed like they weren't really. They took these picks that were like, let's go after the bot lane, or well, you have the aggressive Pyke Samira, Rakan Vayne. Let's go after the bot lane.
Ban that War also did was ban Lucian.
Or they banned Lucian.
All 3 games.
I mean, maybe they know something I don't. But
does
ISO play Lucian? I don't know.
I've never seen ISO play Lucian. Maybe he does. They were scared of Lucian Nami. I would, yeah, but I've never seen Scaling play Nami. But yeah, I could see that. I see Scaling more as an engaged support than a Nami player.
One thing that, like, so if you're out-skilled in the bot lane and you give over Lucian Nami, it's especially on like if you're playing Samira Vayne, like those are the 2 champions they played, super low range, can't trade super well early, you will get rolled. You just won't be able to touch the wave.
Yeah, I also think it was a mistake game 1 for not banning away Silas, which is Mike's very comfortable pick.
Yeah, I think they goofed up hard on the bans. They should have banned Silas. They even let Neville's Urgoth through. Big mistake.
Yeah.
So she ended up going TF, which if you're able to dodge his chains, it's okay. But even then, like you're letting a diamond mid laner play his like biggest champ.
On top of that, if you're Silas into TF, like you have a free TF ult.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
have a free match on wherever
Yeah.
he's roaming as well, which I think is a testament to Wyke's skill level as well. Because I do have high praise for Wyke. I do think he is like very close. It's a hard counter to Karis's champ pool. That's what he said. Okay, so they banned Lucian because Karis doesn't want to play against Lucian.
Which, I mean, that's fair. Straight up, like, if you don't want to play again, just get rid of it. Like I mentioned that earlier, Lucian Nami's terrible. I mean, not terrible. Samira and Vayne are terrible into Lucian Nami. So if they wanted to play those champs, then it's a solid ban. I mean, didn't work out here, but like,
Yeah, I get that, but like when he's able to, like the first two games, played very well on Zaya, and I'm pretty sure on other games in other series, he's also played Zaya and done very, very well. It's like me with Nunu. I do pretty well. People notice it. It's an instant ban.
ban away Leona.
Yeah. Well, that's more of we just don't want him to have fun.
Sun Simp Leona banned away again.
Sun Simp Leona.
Sun Simp Leona.
Sun Sips ban away.
Uh,
That was were his words for himself, by the way. That's what he calls himself. So.
Can we get hearts
I,
in the
I
chat?
posted that meme, right?
Can I just say that since we're gonna talk about this eventually anyway, some of us agreed in pre-chat, Wyke Wazowski will get the MVP and Scaling Circle will get the under the radar.
Okay.
Are there any? You let me know though, Nitro. Do you think that that's fair or?
Yeah.
Now, what really I have no idea who to give this to. MVP of the losers. I have no idea. Like I was gonna give it to Karis, but then it's like, oh, he had a couple bad games. I was gonna give it to Chief Tar.
So Karis' total KDA in the series was, I think, 4, 11, and
He was 3, 11, and 8.
I'd
no,
rather
'cause
give it to Capask,
did he
if I'm being
actually
honest.
get it 3? Oh yeah, he had
Yeah, 3, 1, 2, 0, 1, 0, and then 0, 9, 6.
Sun Milf Simp. Okay.
I'd rather
there
give
you
it
go,
to
Sven.
Chief Batar or Capask, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what I'm
Kapesk.
thinking. I think Kapesk. I mean, like you look at game 1 and game 2, everyone did bad. No one really stood above.
Yeah.
Karis game 1 was 3-1-2, but we like on Samira, that very like we didn't. I don't think any of us saw the games, but like I'm assuming that if you're 3-1-2 on Samira, you're playing back. You're not diving into people. Which I kind of mentioned last week with I think it was Rev's games. Like we saw Donut die like 10 times in a game that they were behind in, but he had like 12 KP or something out of like 15 or whatever. So it's like, if you're losing, like if you just do nothing, you're gonna lose. So like, and I know Mikey, you're a big hater of KDA players. So like,
Well, somewhat, yeah.
yeah. So like that's where I'm thinking like
If you're a KDA player, Mikey hates your guts.
Well, okay.
his words, not ours. His words, not ours.
His ours.
That's
His
what he
words,
is
his
saying
words.
right now.
Hey,
Yeah.
there's some KDA players I can't stand.
Yeah.
The point is, if KDA players do technically hurt the team, but good KDAs can still mean you did well in the game. You know,
Mhm.
it's a balance. It's a fine balance.
Yeah.
Just don't be the person who has the best KDA on your team and the least amount of damage, because that just meant you were chaosing kills. That's all that means.
Mm-hmm.
I digress.
Yeah. I would give it to Kapesk.
All right, I
think-
I,
Yeah. I think.
want to move on. Let's let the
Yeah.
bad taste.
Yeah. Let's get
Oh,
out of here.
please.
Well, Mikey,
Oh.
you call for us to be professional. That you can't just
No.
say that on
Hey.
stream.
Hey,
Game
you
one,
can just,
Samira
people
had
can just-
5,232 damage, which was third highest.
Yeah, fair enough.
The highest
So-
was 6,000, so like 6,400. So
Fair enough.
fair enough, not
he
bad.
can, in fact,
yeah.
not say it on stream. Hashtag
Fair.
banned.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right. We're
I
gonna
do
go
not want
ahead.
anybody to. I do not want anybody to harm
All
themselves.
right, let's just give it to
Just- we're
Capacic. Let's get out of
moving,
here.
we're moving, we're
Let's
moving.
get out of here. Let's get Red versus GCA.
We're streamlining this podcast. All right. Mikey was executed out back.
I've been killed. I've been killed.
No, stop. No more killing. No more killing, please.
He's
Before
in the
that
gulag.
happens-
Okay, he's in the gulag in Warzone.
Toasty. This is your series. What do you got? What do you got?
Toasty, here you go.
So basically, it went down as we expected. Us being a top 3 team, them being in the lower bracket. I will say, I was confused / surprised on the first game when they switched Jin Zhao 4 and Donut PvP. Donut usually does jungle. Jin Zhao usually goes bot lane. I'm not entirely sure why they switched. You would have to ask them themselves. I will say Jin Zhao did surprisingly well at the beginning. Later on, he did end up with a 3-8 KDA, but that just shows you he's not just playing for KDA, as Mikey would just hate.
So much.
Overall, I think I would give props to Jin Zhao. Not quite sure why they switched roles, but he did well. I will say he did give him some trouble. In the second game, it was kind of a roll. Donut PvP ended up switching out. Taco was put on bot lane. Jin Zhao still in the jungle. I think for the losers team, you absolutely have to give it to Dr. Oluro. He held up his own. His KDA was pretty gosh darn good throughout the entire series. So props to him. Besides that, I'm gonna have to apologize to my mid laner in 99 Forever in game 3. I might have accidentally stole a pentakill.
Gotta keep him humble.
I felt so bad. I had to do the whole 20 Hail Marys and everything. I went to confession. Jeez, Lord. I felt so bad. Shout out to 99 Forever. Sorry, Yen.
Okay.
But yeah, I think they gave a pretty decent fight, all things considered. Definitely some things they could work on. Once again, Dr. Lowe did great. And yeah.
Yeah, so one thing I will say about the series, or about the lane swap specifically, it's been, what, 3 weeks and they were 09, I think, right? Week 4, it's a fine time to, like, maybe try something out. So maybe they're like, look, what we've got so far hasn't been working well. Let's roll swap it up a bit, see if that helps. Didn't look like it did. But I mean, I can't really fault them for it. So I mean that's what I'm assuming is going on there. In terms of I had one more point. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm out of it right now. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So that's
Alright.
what I'll say about the role swap.
I think about this series was Rev tried their best, and I applaud them for trying their best because they definitely made Game 3 a lot more interesting, considering I think that's one of their longest games ever, at around 30 minutes. So that was the game they were most in it, in my eyes. I don't know about your Xin Zhao Toasty. haven't seen much of it,
Look,
but
you know what? I play. Want me to be honest? The only reason I played it, I want to show off my new skin.
Oh, which one you get?
I got a Dragon Slayer.
Thanks. That one's not bad.
It's not bad, but
Okay, so I got like 600 free RP from my Amazon thingy-majiggy,
Amazon Prime, yeah.
and I have my Your Shop thing, and I had like 30% off. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy it. It looks kind of nice.
The skin's
is what it
nice. Unfortunately, Jinzhou as a champion is very clunky. He doesn't work well with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would also like to announce that as well, as Donut is no longer officially in the starting roster of Rev. He
Yeah.
is
So that could be
permanently-
actually be a.
He has permanently put himself in the sub position, and I believe Taka will now be starting as well.
So that could honestly be another one of the like, I mean, I don't really want to talk about their like or talk about like I don't know, start rumors or anything, but it's just like maybe again, like they're like these things what we've been doing so far hasn't worked. We switch it up. Maybe Donut's just like maybe the team will do better if I take a break for a week or two. But I mean, so again, like, because what we've been saying this, they just need to. They've been playing the top 4 teams. I think if they figure something out right now that's maybe works a bit better, then they can make that playoff run. So maybe this is like a step towards that.
Yeah,
I got you. Okay, Toasty, is there something you would like to mention to us?
Yeah.
What's
to
the
shout
stir
out-
fry?
Okay. I'm so glad you asked. Well, so before the series started, my man Spanaway, he asked the team if we could, get through the series a little quick because in this campus, they're giving a stir fry for their meal plans or whatever, and we knew right away we have to clap these boys real quick. My man's he's gotta get a stir fry. Time is of the essence, boys. The time is of the essence. So I like to shout him out and 999 Gapik for subbing our 3rd game, so he can make it in time for the stir fry.
So that's why Spanaway didn't play Game 3.
Yeah, all for the stir fry.
All for his stir fry.
Yeah, well, makes sense.
Spanaway was originally going to be the guest as well. But
Did
apparently
he bailed on us?
he had something to do, like, right now. Like, literally right now.
Well,
so he wasn't going to be able to...
Thanks for Toasty for subbing in.
Toasty...
I like him better than Spanaway now.
Okay.
Hey, let's go. I'll
All
take
right.
it.
I'll take it. Alright, under the radar MVP for this series, so we can go ahead and move on, please.
Well, who do we give the
MVP? I think
MVP is 999 forever. There's no contest.
Yeah.
We move on with that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I agree. I was just making sure.
I understand, but under the radar is interesting. Who in your head convinces you that they played better? I like to reward ADC players and bot lane players.
Well,
so
yeah, you're
I
an
will.
ADC player. Come
Well,
on.
no, I'm a top lane main, but I understand that
fair
Mudkip
enough.
kind of smurfed. I
yeah.
feel like Mudkip really showed up, and he played extremely well this series.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, I've seen his Ziggs couple series now, and it looks good. Whenever he plays the champion, his damage numbers are pretty high up there. Like I think on the Ziggs game he had 32%. I mean, and 99 Forever that game was 17-0 on Yasuo, only had 28%. So he's out damaging a turbo fed Yasuo. Like that takes it takes skill to do that much damage in a game like that. Because you have to be hitting these bombs, you have to be positioning correctly, you have to be using your ability to their fullest extent, especially on Ziggs, like you're blocking off chokes. Yeah, I mean, especially I'd like to give Mudcap a lot of props for this series, especially that game too.
I'm down with giving him under the radar, honestly.
Yeah.
I think that MVP of the loser is kind of non-negotiable.
Dr.
in my
Luro
opinion.
as well.
Yeah,
exactly.
as well. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we have 999 Forever as MVP, Mudkip as under the radar, and Dr. Luro. I gave Spanaway a random award. Because
what would that be?
It just said would have gotten an award if he wasn't subbed out because he did so well award.
All right.
Hey, you know what?
You're
Should
just
done all for the stir fry award.
Oh wait, no,
All
I'll
for
do
the
it. No,
stir
no,
fry.
yeah,
All
I'll
for
do
the
it. I'll do it.
stir-fry
I'll do it.
award.
All for the. It's happening. That's the name of the award.
4 bowls of Korean barbecue stir fry. Hot damn,
Damn, that was worth it.
bro! You know
4
it.
bowls. Whew.
4
Was it
bowls.
hot? Was it spicy Korean barbecue too? That would have made it a
I
lot
don't know.
better. You put some
Yeah.
gochujang in it.
Don't
All
worry,
right.
Spanaway, you got an award.
Yep.
Yeah,
Spin away.
okay.
Got an award.
One thing I want to touch on real quick before we move is kind of like in the case of Tad, I think Dream to Me, not and yeah, Tad with Dream to Me. I think Dr. Alluro on Rev is probably the one who's like every single week is performing the best. So I think something that Rev could start to do is maybe start looking to play more around mid lane. I haven't really seen many of their games just because some of them have been off stream. But I think if you bring jungle to mid a bit more, and then like especially on things like the Vex and the Lux, you have these long range skill shot abilities that can just you can throw halfway towards bot lane or halfway to top, and you can really affect the other lane. So I think getting mid ahead and start moving and Dr. Allure around the map could help fix some issues.
Yeah. I
Uh,
would say their mid and jungle have been their best roles up until now. Obviously their jungle will probably not be starting anymore, but
Mhm.
it is what it is. We'll have to see what happens.
yeah. Toasty, is there anything else you want to say about the games?
I think overall they did pretty well. I think for them being like a bottom team, they could definitely keep up for their own and maybe, just maybe, make it the playoffs. They just need to figure out how they want to configure their comp. I think Jin Zhao did pretty damn well on jungle. He had one Graves game that he didn't do too hot. If he just adjust that, figure out what champs he really likes. I think if Taco is gonna be their new ADC, since Jin Zhao is being switched to jungle, maybe possibly, don't want to say. If Taco just figures things out, because I think he is gold 4, and I think if he is able to play with higher ranked players, and this is what this league is all about, being able to, you could be bronze 2 and be playing with a grandmaster player, learn so much from the entire community, and I think that's what they can do. Because in their last game, Taco he played Jin, didn't do too bad, you know. Um, so yeah, I
Yeah.
think this team could. I think they could do better. They just need to practice a little more, figure out what they want, and yeah.
One thing I will say about Taco, I played with him. I started playing with him back in the Scuff League days, and like he's what I don't know silver whatever, but like he's a lot better than like we say this about so many people here. Like they're a lot better than their rank. Like
Yeah.
rank means very little. I think it was game 2 against us. He absolutely curb stomped main lane. And what I'm uh two divisions, full divisions ahead of him. So like, what the fuck? Like, like how did what? Like he was playing Ziggs that oh my god, giving me nightmares. So it's like, Taco's good. I know Taco's good. Dr. Lulo's good. And then I think Jin Zhao again played pretty well. And so I think top lane they have issues with. I think the CS we talked about a lot, like draining gold in the side lanes and experience. So they fixed that up. And then start playing around mid lane a bit more. And I think they can start pulling some games out.
Yeah. Or go ahead.
No, I was just. Should we?
Well, we
Eventually
already
we
did
should go-
impact players, so I guess we have to do our power rankings now.
Yeah. So I posted the power rankings. Do you guys have any disagreement? There was some disagreement over 5 and 6, but otherwise, I think we're pretty much settled on it.
Yeah, I think for the mid teams, it's all kind of a scramble there. They're interchangeable just depending on I don't know what day or week it is. But overall, yeah, I agree.
Alright, so then if 3 people agree, then that's our dedicated power rankings. So, power rankings of this week, there's only one change, and that's TKK moves above GCC.
But we still keep them below war.
But we still keep them below war.
Yeah, so mine personally, it's you got LOW, TPP, and GCA at the top. I think NYM stays number 4. I say this all the time. I think NYM should have won the series against GCA, but they didn't, so that's why I'm keeping it 4. And then I think 5 is War. They've had some pretty bad series against TPP.
I think personally, War does go down. Personally, in my opinion, I mean they go 6, which isn't a death sentence.
And then TKK goes to 5.
TKK goes to 5.
I'm fine with that too. I think those two are interchangeable.
Yeah, they're very fluid in their positions.
Yeah.
But the guarantee is that TKK does go up. So good job, TKK.
Yeah, fair enough.
Alright, so starting from the bottom up, 9th place is the Revolution, 8th place is the American Dream, 7th place is the Gulf Coast Corsairs, 6th place is the... What is their name? Sorry. The
Kilroy Killjoys.
The Kilroy Killjoys, thank you. Sorry.
Gotcha.
Wardens of the North at 5th, New York Mutants as 4th, Grand Canyon Angels in 3rd, the Punks Stillway Yeah.
I have no idea how to say it.
TPP.
Just say prognosticators.
TPP. Second, prognosticators. And then Legacy Light Warriors first. Very sorry. I'm very sorry. I butchered that name. I apologize. It's not that hard to say. Okay, yeah. Groundhog Day? Yes, we have heard of Groundhog Day. I think it's a...
Yes, we have.
I think it's a movie, too, so...
It is.
That's mainly what it's known for.
Yeah. Which is kind of sad, but...
Punks Titani. Anyway, so...
Oh! I found something interesting.
What's that?
Groundhog.org, is for the town where the groundhog is from. Yeah, I just found a website about it called groundhog.org, and it's the town name, and it's the Groundhog Club. It's a bunch of guys in suits. Okay.
Well, anyway, let's move on to series of the week and under the radar series of the week.
Okay. Yeah, I've had heard.
Yeah, so...
Alright, so it is TAD versus GCA, TPP versus TKK, GCC versus New York Mutants, and LLW versus War.
Yeah, so the way I look at these, just going down, you got Tad, who's floundering against GCA. Realistically, I expect that to be a sweep for GCA. Maybe if the For Fun game gets too out of hand, they drop it. But then TPP versus TKK. If this game goes anything like last week's, I don't think TKK stands a real chance. And then these next two, I think, is where it gets interesting. I do think NYM is better than GCC right now, but I think if GCC, if we can pull things together, we can figure some stuff out. I think we can 2-1 it, and then that can kind of get us back up in the power rankings. But I do think LOW versus War is the match of the week, because I think
Yeah.
War.
I have GCC versus New York Mutants as my matchup of the week, but I'm willing to be talked out of just because.
Yeah, so the reason I think LOW and War is, I mean, LOW had a bye last week, so we haven't seen them for a while. And while I do think War, okay, so I think this game could easily be a 3-0 smash. But I feel like if War want to, like, if they play like we know that they can, like their best, I think it can be close. And I think if they show up against LLW, then we can say like, oh, last week was just a fluke. And like they're a good team. Like they just had a bad week. They had an off week. And so I think with a full roster, them playing well, they can make this a series, maybe even take a game off. If they play super well, get 2-1. Honestly, this week, I think a lot of the games have the potential to just be rolls. But I think especially this series and also GCC NYM have a potential to have some close 2-1s. I just think LLW versus War has higher implications for those two teams. Because, well, I mean, because we haven't seen TPP and LLW play since week 1. And I think if LLW wants to stay at the top, they have to like really beat down on some of these teams.
For sure. I still think it's GCC versus NYM, but does anybody have any other? I mean, I see both sides of the coin there. Anybody else?
I personally think it's GCC versus NYM, but if you want, we can put it as LLW and War.
No. This is a democracy, boys. We got the vote. We got 1-2 right now.
Here's why I think it's GCC versus NYM. This is literally like the playoff line. You know what I'm saying? LLW versus War isn't like. It doesn't necessarily have playoff implications. It does have. I mean, every match has playoff implications. But what I'm saying is LLW is kind of a lock-in for playoffs, if you ask me. Whereas GCC versus NYM, neither of these teams are technically locked in. You know. So that's kind of where I'm at for matchup of the week. Although I do get what you're saying too. So I see both sides.
Yeah, I'm pretty flexible because, like, straight up, like both these games I think are pretty similar. Potential to be stomps, but also have potential to be a good series. I think you are right in that. I'll switch my vote actually. I think because this is more of like a middle of the pack series, like because we've talked about we got top 3 and bottom 3 pretty set. Like this one kind of determines like, can New York start climbing and can GCC stop the fall? So yeah, I think that works.
Sure. But are we all in agreement that I could move yours to? I do under the radar series of the week. Just
I think it is under the radar. I think the rest of the other 2 series are kind of sleeper. I mean, TKK might pull something out, but against TPP. But if TPP plays like they did last week, then it's gonna be like they played super well. And then TAD versus GCA, I don't know what's going on with TAD. Their games are fun to watch sometimes, but like really, like, do we expect them to beat GCA, or like expect it to be? It'll be an entertaining series, but I don't think it's very important.
Sure.
Okay. I do think that it is GCC versus New York. But Toasty, what do you think? What do you think out of these 4 games that we've talked about, the 4 series coming up? What would you rather watch as a viewer standpoint?
Probably the game with New York Mutants. Like SpiritTracks said, no offense to the American Dream, but we more than likely will stomp them. I mean, it is what it is. And then again, it's New York Mutants versus GCC, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. So we all know New York Mutants are like a pretty good team. And if GCC gets, well, one, if they don't have like 2 subs, which would huge, and if they have their shit together after their last game, I definitely think they can, at the very least, put an interesting fight versus NYM. So yeah, I'd have to go with New York Mutants versus GCC.
Okay.
Mhm.
So
Fair
then
enough.
we're all in agreement then. All right.
Yeah.
Mikey, do you want to do your esports worlds thing?
Oh, there's nothing much else to say. Just spoiler alert. Anybody who doesn't want to hear spoilers, get out. It's EDG versus
Dom one.
Dom 1. So Dom 1 is obviously the favorite, but EDG is known as kind of that come out of nowhere team. So we've already done betting in the Colonel Gambling Ring. There's a lot of teams who bet on Dam 1, so we are thinking about putting together a watch party. If anybody's interested, let me know. Other than that, there's nothing else to say about Worlds. So take it away.
Yeah,
Chris?
I'll throw something out there real quick. Not about Worlds, but about LCS and LEC offseason. There's some pretty cool rumors going out there. It looks like Vitality's a super team. They're getting Alfari and Perks, Carzzy, Selfmade, and Labrov, so that's pretty huge. And then there's a chance that Bjergsen goes to C9.
Yeah,
And then they get like Hansama. So like if you're interested in that, I'd look that up. Cadril stream is pretty into that stuff, and I think he does a good job.
I heard a different rumor for Bjergsen. I didn't hear C9.
TL?
I heard TL.
TL. Yeah. So like there's a chance he goes to TL or C9. Maybe TSM stays there. So like I don't know, things are heating up. So keep an eye on that if you're
Another
interested.
interesting rumor popped up. If you guys remember Levi from Gigabyte
from GAM,
Remains,
yeah.
and then he came to 100 Thieves Academy. Then he went back to China, went back to Gigabyte. He may be coming back to the LCS again,
Huge.
which should be interesting. C9 Jack tweeted that Bjerg was not going to C9. So yeah, so really the only team we have in rumor right now is TL, unless something else happens.
Yeah.
Which should be interesting. Apparently another ADC is coming to North America. Another rumor. Slater.
Slater
from Vietnam.
Cool.
So that would be interesting. He has 2 pentakills in the past 2 seasons. He's a consistent top ADC in Vietnam. I watch Vietnam because I enjoy watching my Norwegians. And I think they're really interesting in how they play the game and all that. Just like I watch different regions, I think I feel like one of my least favorite regions to watch is Turkey, but that's just because I just don't like Turkey. So, like Turkey games, they're sometimes really good or they're sometimes really sleeper. So, yeah, it's whatever. Yeah, but there's a lot of rumors going on right now. Should be interesting. I'm wanting to see how the LEC figures itself out. I also want to know if like any actual academy players will get a chance, or they're just gonna pull like a Golden Guardians and have like 3 rookies and then a like veteran player and then like a somewhat upcoming player, and then just kind of throw them into the fire and see how they do. Which sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Another interesting rumor I heard, because I'm very deep into the league, like rumor scenes, because the rumor scenes are so hilarious seeing how people react. The current MVP of the French league, Touqueville, I think is his name. I think he was the MVP for spring, but in summer he wasn't. His team really kind of was meh, but he was still a good player. He is going to FlyQuest, which is the rumor.
Ah.
So FlyQuest is dropping Palafox.
Mm.
or Palafox goes to Academy.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Could be interesting. We have a ton of rumors.
I was about to say, there's a lot of pro play rumors going on right now.
Yeah, we've had 4 different rumors that Jensen's role swapping. Palafox is Poggers? I think Palafox is pretty good for North American talent. I just feel like, I mean, what was that? That was the Cloud9 Academy team. That team had what? Fudge. It had Fudge, Inori, Tomo, Diamond, Palafox with Coach Rainover. I mean, I was insane. That Academy team was so good. They breezed through Academy like easy. Even though they had King and then they had Tomo and then Johnson came in as well. I feel like King is on C9 Academy now.
Is he?
Yeah,
Oh,
King is on C9 Academy.
I could
Academy
probably want
games
him,
are so they're good League of Legends. I enjoy them, but I just kind of wish
yeah.
things would happen better. Pobelter is confirmed gone from CLG. Possible swap to roll top is what I've heard for him. If he does continue to decide to keep playing, Solo is gone for Golden Guardians, confirmed, and I think we have a new jungler in Academy for 100 Thieves, and his name is Chad.
Wow.
He has played on just amateur teams, and yeah, he was on 100 Thieves Next, and now he's on 100 Thieves Academy. He's had some interesting team names. Dawn Esports was his best name, the Expendables, and then Kings of Uganda. Amateur teams get away with a lot more things.
To Uganda.
He was really good in Scouting Grounds, because I watch Scouting Grounds, because I think Scouting Grounds are great. By the way, Inori doesn't have a job. That's a shame. I feel like Inori kind of had his years. He wasn't able to do much. TSM is blowing up. Power of Evil maybe going back to Europe, which I don't know, because his tenure in North America is Optic, CLG, FlyQuest, and then TSM. So that was kind of. I mean, he was pretty decent when he was on those teams. Sorry, I talk a lot about League of Legends
No,
rumors
it's
and all
okay.
that.
It's pro play corner.
It's the pro play corner, yeah. I do think that it's good. I think Power of Evil. I mean, they did lose to C9 in the championship. I mean, TSM this year could have made Worlds, but it was very unfortunate because they ended what third, and then they ended fourth, and they didn't make it. Uh, I'm surprised they didn't merge it. Oh yeah, because didn't they do something weird for the summer this year?
For what?
For summer LCS.
I don't think so. It was basically no. I thought it was normal, but
Like TSM did end first, and they were really good.
oh sure. Oh sure. Yeah. TSM. I'm so glad they didn't make it to Worlds. I
Like
don't think they.
Spica was smurfing, like he is the MVP for a reason.
Yeah.
Danny was also a really good rookie. Think he is super good.
I honestly think NA did really well at Worlds. I think I'm one of the few people to say that. But
I think so
NA,
too. I think
they all went like 3-3. Actually, the one team that didn't go 3-3 made it out of groups. They went 2-4 and made out of groups. So
yeah,
I mean,
they went 3-4 and made it out, and I feel as if I feel like all NA teams finally NA didn't no, I don't think they did go further than EU this year.
NA.
Because one
Well,
EU team make it out.
They did better than EU. Like overall, they did better than EU.
Overall wins, yeah, but
Or even how far they went though, because Cloud9 and Mad Lions went the same length, went
Yeah.
the same distance. So overall, NA better than EU. just just barely. But
Yeah, EU has a lot of rumors right now. I really like Danny. I really like new king.
NA
Yeah,
equals
Violet.
EU. I
NA.
mean, NA did do better than EU. They did.
I
So
I want to say this real quick. I think Danny, I think EG, depending on how they play this off season with Jizuke, because Jizuke is apparently going to be a free agent, which is going to be interesting, because you're going to have Impact, Sven, some other mid laner, Danny and Ignar, because none of their contracts end until next year. So it really depends on who you add.
can I honestly? By the way, I know this is hard to do, but if you take out EDG as a team, like just erase them as a team, NA did the second best out of any region at Worlds. Isn't that crazy? Like that's crazy. That NA could have been the second best region if you just take out that one team. I
They're
don't know.
third best team at Worlds, straight up, or region at Worlds.
They were.
So
They were the third best region. If you take
yeah.
out EDG, they're the second best region. So,
So NA greater than EU. You heard it here first.
yeah, you heard it here first.
Okay.
Mikey has said a lot of things on this stream, but I think that may have been the worst thing he could have possibly said.
I mean, it's not that I said a fact. It wasn't like a bad thing.
Oh, okay. It's a fact.
It is. If you take out EDG, NA did second best. That's a fact based on wins. That's not like a.
And if you take out Tom 1, NA is number 1.
Actually,
Crazy logic.
That's actually not true though.
That's still not true. Down 1, even
That's still not true. Nice try, LLFFL, but that is still
nice
not
try,
true.
Karis. Nice try. You tried to get him.
Nice try, Car. You did try, but no.
No.
Your crazy logic is still terrible.
Yeah, I think.
But I'm saying, like, I just said take out one team, and technically NA is factually the second best region.
If you remove everyone but C9.
Hey, I just said to remove one team. That's all I said, and NA is the second best region.
Okay.
You're all going off on way crazy jokes.
Okay. So then, I really want to see what they do for EG, because EG. What was it? What were they called before? Good Game Agency. Was it GGA? And then they went to Winter Fox. And then Evil Geniuses went back because there was EG. Yeah, the rules was just we would sweep each other unless games never end because teams can't close. True. So
I just wanted to remove one team to make NA the best. You guys are trying to remove every other team. I thought
True.
mine was much less of a jump.
I want to see how EG will perform this year. I think they will go ahead and just kind of smurf if they play their cards right.
Yeah,
because they were really good. Team Liquid, yeah, it's Liquid. TSM, it's TSM. They're finally trying something new. CLG, Omega lol. CLG is the most Omega lol team in the NALCS. I do not care that they are a historic franchise. You know when CLG was good? 2016.
I'm a CLG fan and I want them to get taken out. I can't follow them this far.
CLG hasn't been good since 2017, 2016. It's time to move on.
Yeah.
They've tried everything. They have thrown everything. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate.
It is what it is.
Anyway,
should we close this up?
I agree.
Unless you want to keep talking pro play corner.
Yeah, I want to bring up a few different things of teams that I think will be topped. Depending on how Dignitas play this offseason, potentially could be good. I have to see more from them, though. I have to see if they are actually worthwhile any. Because Acadian is one of my favorite players because I was an Echo Fox fanboy, and that was peak Echo Fox, Mr. Matthew Higginbotham. Yeah, he's kind of been thrown everywhere. I mean, to be fair, Acadian's been playing professionally for 7 years, so Has a good smite team though. Okay, that's cool. This is league though. They suck. Okay. All right, hold on. How I'm gonna look at their results. Okay, they've ended in the last 4 splits, 9th and 10th constantly. Then they had one decent summer, and they made regional finals, and they lost to Clutch Gaming, and Clutch Gaming made Worlds that year. What? What? Like,
Hey, you know what?
if you
I'm not
want a
gonna
good team, you bring back CLG Prime, okay?
I'm not gonna. I'm a CLG fan, and I'm never gonna defend them. I think they're horrible. So,
I think Riot said that they would demote like a team, and they would like sell their spot. So CLG may be getting their spot sold. Interesting development. Let's see if Riot.
apparently they're just a horrible company. That's what I've heard, and I'm a fan of them, so I don't know what to do. It is what it is.
I miss Voyboy.
Everyone misses Voyboy.
I miss Voyboy. I remember Moon as their coach. Yeah, I remember Moon as a player. Yeah, I think that's enough of pro play, like pro professional talk. Rumors are everywhere. Make sure that the rumors may have some sources, of course. EU is about to shake up a ton because there's always a bunch of new EU squads, which is why EU is a lot more successful than NA finding new talent because they have like 12 different regions and leagues to choose from and see how teams actually perform and then could give them a shot in LEC. But in NA, it's like one single academy for us, which isn't our fault. It's Riot's fault for not really trying to help develop a better solo queue mentality in North America. But solo queue is what it is. Maybe Mr. Scaling Circle will go ahead and join a professional team. Hope he remembers us as the gold ADC and gold support. Yeah, and then Vitality, of course, the rumors, Selfmade, Alfari, Perks, Karzi, and Leebov, which should be insane. I don't think they're a super team. I wouldn't call that a super team yet. I would call that a top 3 team. But if Fnatic do lose Bwipo, that will be interesting. Because White Bwipo is one of the greatest memes to ever exist. So.
True.
True. Very true.
Bwipo can play any role as well.
True. Bwipo can play every single role except support, I think he said.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's enough out of me. I think Nemesis becoming a streamer for Gen G was really sad. But there's not much you can do there.
Yeah.
I hope they come back, and I hope Nemesis like plays again, because he was on Mad and then Fnatic for 2 years, and now he's not playing at all. I know he took the year off. But yeah, TL Bwipo. Yep, TL Bwipo. Basically confirmed, I think.
That's true. It's confirmed.
It's a verbal agreement. It's a verbal agreement, and
first.
they've already discussed the contract, is the rumors. So it's basically TL Bwipo.
You heard it here first.
Which basically confirms Alfari is leaving the EU to Vitality. Because there's no reason for you to get a new top laner like that. You're not G2. Where G2 just kind of like changes things like every year just to see whatever sticks. Because G2 has like that. Magifelix is an interesting player. Magifelix is still not on the team. He just got let go by Astralis. Astralis was bad. They were really shit. I'm very sorry to say this, but Astralis was very bad.
They started winning games at the back half of the season when it was too late.
Okay, sure.
When it was way too late. But
way too late.
When it was too late, they went like undefeated. So, I mean,
yeah, okay.
Take it how you want to.
Sure, I'll take it exactly how I want to, as in they got mollywopped.
Yeah.
in the last
You're-
half as well because they lost.
What if Rev does that in ELU? Like when it's too late, they just destroy every team.
Is they
I
started
wanna see it.
2-0 summer, and then they went 2-5, then they went 5-6, right? It's like okay, they can make some noise. Nope, they just lose. They just
All
lost
right.
the rest.
I hate to butt in. I have to be somewhere at 6, so I'm gonna leave.
Okay,
Good
we're about
podcast.
we're
You
about
guys
to
can
go. We're about to end.
yeah continue, but
All
I
right.
gotta head out.
Sorry about that. Sorry for the long pro play rants. Sorry about that. That is my bad. Apologize. We already did the matchup upcoming in the week. Thank you all for being here. If you would like to be a part of the Discord, please go ahead, scroll down, hit the sign up link below. We can continue this discussion in the Discord as one. You will have to wait about 2 to 3 minutes because it is just an anti-raid feature. But I hope you all a wonderful night. Don't pull a Mikey. Be safe. Drink responsibly. Have a good one.
I've never done that before.
I didn't end the
What I-
podcast. Thank you very much, Toastyboi.
What I mean is, I've never drank responsibly.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Toastyboi, the new king, thank you very much for joining us here. I hope you had a wonderful time.
I did. It was a pleasure, and a happy birthday to NitroDax.
Thank you very much. Everyone, have a wonderful day.